Hi everyone, I'm Hayley Roos and I specialize in hand embroidery and also painting. Some of the things that inspire me are like nature, plants and animals, and also people I meet and just things I find around the house. Like, you might not really think about it, but everything that you see has work put into it, and that's how it's made. So for example, this little planter here looks like a panda bear, and someone had to sculpt this and then put it in a kiln and fire it up, and then it was made. And then someone else had to grow these little plants and then place them into the pot. That would be someone in my family, most likely. And there also had to be someone who carved this little wood heart that's attached to it. Someone had to make all the twine that goes on it to hang it up. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. But just stuff like that is really interesting to me. Now I'm going to try and teach everybody some science and art. I really like art history and I'd like to incorporate that in my lessons if I can. Some of my favorite art history periods are definitely the Paleolithic times. I just think it's really fun to see that humans have always been doing art ever since they were first humans. Now most of the work that I make is like upcycled. Upcycling is when you take something that's going to be thrown away and you breathe new life into it by adding or altering it in some way. For example, I have my my jacket that I've done with hand embroidery. The red little petals are done using applique. Applique is when you add to something using fabric. So you put fabric on top of fabric and then you sew it on, and that's how you do it. I did it with hand sewing, but some people can also do it using machine. The little yellow dots on it are French knots. French knots are done with the needle itself, like a hand needle, instead of a machine needle. You can also do a satin stitch this way, which is what I used for the stems. They can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This one can actually be done by a machine as well, but I think it's much more fun to do it by hand. It makes it like a fun project that you can put work into and be proud of it when you're done. I understand it may not be possible for me to teach everyone hand embroidery at home because there's a lot of supplies involved. You need a hand sewing needle, some thread, a hoop maybe if that makes it easier for you to sew. All sorts of stuff are needed, including fabric. I almost forgot fabric. But I'd really like to teach science for kids around age 10 to 13. I feel like as long as I do it easy enough to understand, I think little kids a little younger should be able to understand it, as well as older kids who just want a little refresher on stuff that they haven't thought about in a while. Just for a little preview as to what my class is going to be like, I'm going to try and teach everybody an easy way to draw things at home using proportion. The important part of a drawing is having good proportions. That makes it even with itself, even with other things around it, and it makes it look more realistic. You can alter your proportions and make something more stylized, but it's important to know how things should be in relation to each other first, and then edit it later to make it cool. So, for example, I'm going to be drawing a hammerhead shark. I've got this little toy right here. It's about proportional to what a real one looks like. You see its little mouth. And I have a marker. This is a pink highlighter. I like the color pink, so I'm going to use that. And I'm going to show you how to draw stuff. First, I'm going to draw it without looking at it. I'm just going to draw from memory. So, as far as I know, a hammerhead shark looks sort of like this. It's got the important tail that looks sort of like a C. Got a long L-shaped head, a lowercase L, or an I guess. Got a little eye. Maybe it's got a mouth here. Hello. Point, point. That's pretty good. I like this hammerhead shark that I've drawn. But now I can look at an actual one and compare it, and it looks kind of wonky. Probably because I did it in like less than 5 seconds, but also because I didn't take time to look at it and do the proportions correctly. So let's stick that right here, move that up, and I'm going to try drawing how I think it should go. From here to here, from here to here, and from here to here. It makes a sort of like kite shape. So let's see. I'm going to do this lightly with the pointy end of my marker. So it looks sort of like this. Here being the tall part, this being the nose. And then I make a long shape over here. Sort of a, like, I guess if you were to draw a mouth that was opening a little bit, that's sort of what it looks like. Another triangle down here. A triangle up here that goes sort of this way first, then a curve, then it goes down the middle. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gills. Got the eyes actually right here. I thought it was down there, but it's actually right there. It's got one bump here and then another fin there. So let's draw that one in. Got 2 fins down here. Then that one is about the same as here. But this one over here is a little ways ahead around here. The distance from here, this point to this point, should be about the same on here. And then the fin up here goes gently up, then goes down, and this part should be shorter. So let me darken this up with my marker. And if you look at it, that's rather detailed hammerhead. Got your little eye down here. If I was to fold it up, you could see that it has a mouth down below, and the fins go like this. So these 2 fins right here and here should look sort of similar. It's got another one down there that I didn't even notice. So that's an easy way to use proportions, is to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make a big shape that goes from the farthest out points, like in my case I used a diamond, and then fill it in with counting the middle part. So if I were to put these in the middle, it'd actually be about behind this fin. So if I were to go down, then that's about there. So it works out. That's just a quick little video about how to use proportion in drawing. Something interesting about hammerhead sharks that I learned is that a great hammerhead, which is the largest species of hammerhead, there's actually 9 different kinds of hammerhead sharks, just different little variations in them. But the biggest one can grow up to 20 feet long. That's about half the size of a telephone pole. That's crazy. So hammerhead sharks are one of my favorite animals. I used to be obsessed with sharks. I had a shark-themed birthday party at one point, and I'd always loved going to the aquarium and seeing sharks swimming around. One time I went to the beach and we almost saw a hammerhead shark. Some people saw it nearby. We did not get to see it, but wouldn't that have been cool? Anyway, that's the end of this little lesson. I'm so happy to hang out with everybody, and if you have any questions, just leave some in the comments below and talk about what kind of things that you'd like to hear me talk about and learn from. That's all for now. Thank you.